Yeah, I started the program talking about the debt of Victoria. As you know, it's the biggest in the country. The repayment on the interest on the debt's costing Victorians about $1 million an hour. We had the Treasurer of Victoria go to New York and beg the rating agencies not to further downgrade our credit rating, which is the lowest in the country at AA. If Chalmers is going to reform somewhere, why doesn't he start by talking to the Victorian government and tell them to stop spending so much money on infrastructure projects they can't afford and stop whacking taxes on people like the one they announced today, where if you're a farmer and you don't want a transmission tower on your property and you refuse to let it happen, you'll be fined $12,000.
Steve, the great irony here, and it's crazy, is that Victoria is sitting on top of the most amazing gas resources, but both the Labor government and the cowardly Liberal opposition have sort of put that in the too hard basket. So you're now going to have potentially a gas import terminal bringing gas from interstate or, God forbid, overseas. But what about we flip that around? If Victoria's got budgetary problems, how about you go and exploit the gas resources that you have? How about you actually create a gas export industry as well as a stable and affordable supply for the domestic market? There's an opportunity to make money, as Queensland has, off gas royalties, or WA or the Northern Territory. I mean, it's there for the taking, mate. But the trouble is the people pulling the levers in this country at the moment, just don't think the right way. They're all about more tax, more regulation, and they're driving us into an economic abyss.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you put people who've never had a real job in charge. Can I just ask you before you go, you're going to get a bin tax in Brisbane. Brisbane City Council slapping 170,000 households with a flat fee for a green bin. Even if you don't want the bin, you still have to pay the green bin tax.
Well, the Lord Mayor's a friend of mine, and I think he does a pretty good job on the whole. But what I'd say to Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner is, rather than essentially, and there's a lot of double talk about this, they're all talking about the state government's got a waste levy, which, go back a bit. When I became the Premier in 2012, we got rid of the Labor Party waste levy, which was a tax on putting stuff into the holes in the ground. After I lost in 2015, the Labor Party brought it back. And it's a cost on ratepayers and a cost on business across the state. What the Lord Mayor should be arguing for, Steve, is with his new LNP government, get rid of the tax. Because these landfill levies across Australia are another thing that's eating into middle Australia. It's costing them, just like the whole green energy schemes are. That's the great dirty lie at the moment. There's so much that is being imposed on families who are suffering under a cost of living crisis that comes straight from government. So I reckon the Lord Mayor should be arguing for a repeal of the waste levy, get rid of that tax, and actually hand some money back to, families who need it in Queensland.